Hello. All right, looks like it's coming through now. That little NVIDIA update it gets me every time. So hopefully it's working. Let me know if the sound's coming through. Okay, it appears that it is, but you know how it is. Yeah. All right. Will's here. All right, so I'm gonna get started. Let me know again if you can hear me okay, and if not, I'm sure you guys will type that you can't hear me soon. So we will see. Anyway, PPI data came in a little hotter than what people expected. And we were kind of wondering that if it would come in a little bit hotter. Everybody was saying, "Hey, listen, all eyes are going to be PPI. Watch it; it's going to be really, really important." And what did it do? It came in higher than expected. Now, the core number, again, the core is the one that really is the most important of the two, even though people like the headline number better, actually showed an increase over last month at point 0.2. Now, PPI on a monthly basis, the overall with everything in there, it did decline a little bit. It was point 0.7 last time, but it was supposed to get down to point 0.3. It stayed up at point 0.5. And, again, they were a little bit off there. So, what does that mean? Um, what I think that means is a lot of people are going to be kind of like, uh oh. FOMC meeting notes today at 2 p.m. just became a real, real big thing. Now, we've seen some spikes back and forth, and you're seeing the market prepare for it a little bit. And a lot of people are saying, the Fed made comments yesterday about how the market has really done a lot of its job for them. Um, Again, not the worst, not the worst response or, that you get out of the Fed. Um, but there's no denying that, again, it is inflation is not necessarily going in a direction that you want it. Now Yellen's still stuck on the soft landing thing. She's like, yeah, we're still headed for a soft landing. It's all right. It's good. Don't worry. It's all safe. Um, honestly, and it doesn't even show up a color. Something like, hey, you know, in the position that I'm in, I believe that we have a soft landing. In the past, somebody makes that comment, it has a lot of weight. Not even a color. Excuse me. Not even a color. So yeah. Putin is talking about OPEC Plus is fully meets their obligations. Let's see what else we got in here. Fully meets their obligation. Coordination will continue. Russia and China continue talks on power of Siberia too. Okay. Russia gas supply via power of Serbia to China regularly exceed expected supply. Russia, Uzbekistan, and Kazakhstan agreed on further energy cooperation. Okay. So again, kind of a natural gas thing there. And they have such a close relationship. Again, I don't know that China would absorb all of it, but I feel like they would gladly take a discounted rate for everything that Russia has to send them. So yeah. Um, but with that said, I think 2 p.m. is going to be a very, very big thing today. The markets, again, not going insane, right? You're seeing a little dollar weakness across the board versus the euro, the pound, the yen down a little bit, dollar Swiss down a little bit, dollar CAD down just a smidge, Aussie dollar up a little bit, euro pound getting that pound strength back in there, that minus 24, about half of an ATR, and then your pound yen up about 88. So overall, little dollar weakness, which again, seeing that data is kind of surprising. And again, a lot of people, I think the Fed's like, yeah, a lot of our work is done, right? But with data showing that there's an increase in inflation, it's hard to say that their job is done, right? And the expectations were that it was going to be flat, right? For the most part, a cut in the overall, and then core was going to be flat, but core is increasing. So yeah, a lot of fun there. Ooh, excuse me. Now tomorrow morning, that's where we got all the CPI data. Now the question is, and again, the CPI is not as important. A lot of people look at it as like the market's headline news. It's easy. Everybody understands what CPI is, right? We've seen the other side though. Again, the PPI, what it's costing to produce goods. And here's the two ways to look at it, right? If it's costing producers more to produce the goods, are they just going to let that affect revenues? Which again, that means earnings are going to be bad, or are they going to raise the prices overall? And that's the question with CPIs, whether or not it's being passed or it's not being passed. So I think it's pretty important. Again, on a yearly basis, it's supposed to come down to 3.7. I believe it's supposed to do that last time too. Oh no, last time it was supposed to be 3.6, and actually it went higher to 3.7. So again, there was a bit of a surprise, and they're expecting to come back down again, but still shows on a yearly basis. The previous was a 3.2 going up to 3.6, and then it was up to 3.7. And even if we drop to 3.6, that's where we're supposed to be. Could there be some problems with that? Yeah, I think so. And again, core. was point 0.3, continuing to show another point 0.3, and then the over on a monthly basis point 0.3. But here's the thing: are the producers going to take it on the chops, or are they going to pass it over to us? Is kind of the big question. Like, do you hurt your earnings or do you raise inflation? Because again, there's a battle for inflation is the big question. So again, next 24 hours. Whew. FOMC, I think, is the first bit of it, though. We're going to get the first big, um, again, kind of not just comments, but actual true statements at 2 o'clock today. So would not be surprised if, yeah, if it's a little bit slow the rest of today, right? As it just, as it kind of stabilizes, right? All right. So with that, let's go across. And I was looking at a couple different things over here. Where are we at? The VIX. So VIX is down. Is there any reason for the VIX not to be down? I would say no, not really. I mean, what's really happened? I mean, we've gotten one bit of data, right? Gotten a little bit of data. Is it is it the end of the world data? No, no, no. Has anything progressed in Israel to the extent where it's things are changing there? No, I don't think so. Not really. Um, Not to the point where like you know we need to make major changes in the market. So obviously it should be down, right? Looking at the dollar down just a smidge, 0.5. Now, is it really much difference? I mean, we were here yesterday. We're basically at the same spot, that 105.80 ish, kind of range. Um, you're not seeing major movement. Excuse me. And you would kind of expect there with that PPI data for there to be a big spike, right? And there was a little spike. It wasn't huge, right? It's really going to depend on what the Fed decides it's going to do, right? Like I said, there was Fed comments yesterday talking about how the market has done a lot of their job for them, right? But with things increasing, the question's going to be, hey, listen, you're not doing anything, and you know, it is increasing, right? We are seeing an increase, and are we done? Are you just going to let it do its thing? Are we going to let this risk going higher? Um, so yeah, yeah. Wouldn't be surprised if this takes off with FOMC later on today. Now, indices all currently in the green right now, right? But just by a little bit. And again, I don't think that's bad. It's okay that they're in the green. Again, I think it's like this is to be like the fourth day or something like that that it's in the green. Um, overall, again, comments like safe landings and listen, it's not that bad. A lot of the work has been done. The market's helping us out right now. We're good. I mean, you could make a comment about that, about how the market is doing that, but what are we seeing? We're seeing producers. It's costing them more to build things, right? Which again, they tend to pass it to the consumer. We're seeing, the job market. The JOLTS data was way up there, right? Non-farm data way up there. So it's hard to say that, hey, listen, it's all taking care of itself. The economy, it's doing great, right? No problems. Inflation, it'll come down, even though everybody's doing well, right? Um, so that's kind of where we're at, and the market is, again, is this pre-positioning for a big crash? It could potentially be. I think it could potentially be. So that's where we are with the indices. Now, crude, I'll click on it. We're at the bottom side of that range. We're down a little bit, right? 85.01. We're still kind of in that same sideways range. It's where we gap to on Sunday. The question is, can we continue to push lower? I don't know how much lower we're really going to go. I mean, I guess we have the gap to fill here, right? I mean, filling that gap would not be the worst of things to do, right? I'd be all for that one. Prices coming down. Um, but yeah, I right now with the markets, again, we'll see what the Fed has to say. But even at like the 83 mark, I think that's a great place to be. It's much, much lower than where it is. The Middle East right now is not affecting too much. There you go. Brazilian inflation faces oil price risk. Yeah. Honestly, it's really going to depend on what happens in the Middle East, right? How far that conflict is going to go and what it looks like. Again, a lot of it is going to be looking at Iran and whether it's a public. And here's the thing: if there's a public thing about Iran, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a catch-22. If they put sanctions on Iran, saying that, hey, listen, we're not going to buy Iranian gas. We've had it. We're done. Iran, that's it. You're bad. You're going on the list. You're going on the naughty list. Once you get on that naughty list and you're not buying it, that lowers the supply. They know the response is going to be jacking energy prices higher, which again helps some of the bad people out there. So yeah, so there's that. Natural gas finally getting a little bit of a reprieve, right? This one is back down again, and it's like, oh, thank God. They were talking about this morning. Talking about there was a woman actually. It's amazing, right? Woman start talking about how it's been like this hidden market and things. On CNBC. It's great that it's pushing back down. I mean, this is a nice run. We were at 345. We're all the way back down at 327, below that 330 mark. If we can get back down to that 319, I think that makes a lot of sense. It's a great place to be. Um, Still got some room to run. We are obviously sitting in buyers, so you got to watch out for that one. But that could be there today. Now, gold and silver both up, right? About 0.5% and 1%. Up at 1870, up at 22, and again holding at that 22 mark. Again, I think the Fed's gonna have to say something. The data's there, right? It is higher than where it was yesterday, and the question is all this going up in the air? Is this raising, just preparing us for a big crash? With the Fed talking about potentially raising one more time before the end of the year, right? Mention that dreaded. We're gonna do it one more time, right? And then we're probably done. But the question is that raising it one more time going to be more powerful than the and then we're done part, right? I mean, I think we're probably, at somewhat of a restrictive level. It's a little bit high, but again, inflation is it month over month going down? I guess if you're looking at the yearly basis, sure, but I don't, now that we're out of the crazy year gauges from a year ago and 2 years ago, um, yeah, things are still expensive. So got some room to run there for gold and silver, right? Gold again peaking very, very high for the news, and it's not there yet. But I think FOMC, it's going to be like, and the Europeans have taken this and just driven it straight up. So they're both kind of the same thing. So looking at the Aussie. So yesterday with the Aussie, you can see we came back up early morning, 5:30, went back down again, and there had been two hits in there, and then it started the base like, oh, it's going to start breaking, and it did. It went up, it grabbed those same buyers, and then punched higher, and again took out all the sellers up top again. So again, once you got this base here at that like kind of 10:30 time frame pulling back, you're like, oh, it's going to break, and it did. Again, one, two, three, pulled back, grabbed those buyers, and boom, took off to the top side. So easy trade. And then it's kind of after that, it's kind of stagnated, right? As of like, about 10 o'clock last night, we had the punch up and then it reset itself. And now it's just kind of stuck. And there was the spike down real quick with news, right? There was the spike down, but is it a monstrous move to the downside? No, I don't think so. Not yet. Um, Again, remember, this is just a data point. This is not the Fed actually raise anything. It's going to raise a lot of eyebrows, and a lot more people are going to be looking at FOMC and I'd be like, what do they got? And FOMC already knew this data, and the question is FOMC playing a game? They made comments about how the market is doing a lot of their job for them, right? But at the same time, were they saying that to provide fair balance for the statement they're going to say today? And again, they do this quite often, right? One day they say something, and then the next day they come out and they surprise you, and you're like, whoa, what the heck was that? But you said yesterday, right? It's kind of like, what have you done for me lately type scenario here. So, yeah, kind of where we're at right now with this. Is there a great trade setup in here? So, we haven't quite gone up to the 786, but we can kind of run a reversal on this one and just kind of draw it here. We know we got there, and you can see, it did spike past the 23. There are obviously buyers in here, and I think it's important to draw them. It has pushed it kind of deep, right? And that's kind of what we went off of. There's another little hiccup here, and there's a little bit down the 50, and it gets really congested between the 50 and the 61.8. Right now, we have 4 hours until the FOMC speaks. I think really that's kind of what we're looking for right now is what's going to happen from now till FOMC, right? From now till FOMC. Are we going to see movement? Are we going to see stagnation? What are we going to see? Right now, you can see that the highs are definitely kind of peaking lower, right? We had our peak late last night, and then we had a little spike at 3 o'clock this morning. And this one, for the most part, is flat, right? Dollar index was up, but this one, for the most part, is flat. Question is, can we drive back down again? And do we have targets down here? I don't know. 63.50 could be where we're at later on today. But right now, again, market's just open. I'd like to see where the market takes it from now till 2, right? And easy enough to plan it. You just kind of push it here. Where's the 14? Where's the 14? Right there. Let's see where we go. Right now, market's not showing much. And again, Gold is up pretty big, and we're kind of holding firm. So again, we got kind of weak dollar, but even with gold up, this one's not really changing its trajectory much. So right now, is it doing anything? Not really, right? Since late yesterday, and we're really kind of in the same. Where are we at? 18 pips in 24 hours. So not much there. I'd like to see where we go, whether it be up. And again, you could say, hey, listen, there's a little tested zone right there at the top. And sure, you could say that. It's absolutely a tested zone. And then we got this level down here, pushed it pretty deep. I like this more for a short than a long, but it is a little backstop. So let's see what we do. Do we drive up or do we drive down in the next 4 hours? I think is the right way to play the Aussie dollar. Now, the Aussie yen, we're still kind of in the same area. You can see yesterday we were sitting right here. So we're a little bit higher, but I wouldn't say that, again, it's grinding. And, I mentioned yesterday that there's not really a great zone to kind of draw anything off of over here. Um, there's just nothing clean in there. And again, the Aussie yen hasn't moved as much as what you would have assumed it would lately. Um, i- you know, you kind of want more out of this one, right? And it's just not giving us as much as we want. Um, Kind of hard to put a top on this one. It ground its way down, and now all it's doing is grinding its way. Whoops. And now all it's doing is grinding its way back up, right? A hit here, another hit, and then a punch again, and then ground further, and then it failed, and it's like, oh god, we need more help. And it went back down and found these buyers, and now it's trying to push, and it should go through this level. We really don't have clean until 96.31, so I mean, it's got another what 60 pips to go. Um, Where do we turn? Is the big question. Maybe the 78 Sixers step in, but there's really not a level that I'm in. I'm looking at this one and going, oh yeah, I love that one. I mean, really, the best thing we have with any type of confirmation actually should be more there. I think we did that on an hourly. That's the last time I got anything confirmed. In what 96.35, right? 96.35. So one little hiccup, got some room. Again, does gold jack this one? Maybe. But right now, just not in love with this one. Aussie dollar. So Aussie dollar, you can see we did have some spiking. We did have a big spike. Um, it ended up closing higher, but it spiked about 34 pips down. There were some buyers down there, but not a big move. I mean, you can see yesterday we talked about this one. Again, it based in there and kind of got really, really stuck. And right now, we're loading up with the weakness. Now the question is it going to be the same thing? Are we loading up with this kind of dollar weakness in time for the Fed to talk and just come slam this thing back down again? Um, my belief is if the Fed does say, right, if the FOMC statement says that, most likely we're going to have one more raise, it's going to be data dependent, but, if I don't think they're going to say if CPI because I don't think they want to put too much highlight on CPI. Um, but the PPI or the PCE number, everybody said ignore it, and that came in not what you would have expected. And then everybody said today's data was going to be a big deal, and the big deal showed that inflation was increasing, especially at a core level. So, um, yeah, I mean, right now it looks like they are setting this up for a short later on today. I'm just trying to craft what is it that FOMC is going to, how are they going to kind of be like, hey, listen, it raised, but it's okay, don't worry, trust us, it'll be all good, right? With everything going on. So, I'd like to see this punch up even further. I don't think we can get all the way up top. We talked about levels up here, but it's about 45 pips away. Um, we're playing with where the 6180 is right now. So, I mean, there's all sellers in here, right? There's a lot of sellers there. If we do go above 106.71, though, it is a long. Again, we do have a racetrack. So, again, understand that that is up there as well. But right now, we are in get a pretty decent area with a whole lot of drama. So, 37. Hmm. 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 It can move 37. Wonder if we can play with that. Hmm. Unfortunately, that level has been chopped through so much. I don't think I'd use it for a short. Kind of got to respect it. Yeah, maybe, maybe this is just accelerating way too much. And again, a lot of this could be, basically playing the shorts. I wish we had a zone in there to short this off of. Yeah, we'll see. If we can get up into here, this 106.60, we could potentially take that one short. I don't love it because it has broken and it has chopped through it more than 4 times. That's why we have the racetrack drawn on the top side. But I don't know. Maybe if we punch up to this level and then we pull back in time, it actually could be a long base trade. It only needs to move 34, so it's got a 4-hour ATR. With all the data we've seen this morning, if we don't do the 1030 reversal, we could be up and basing in this level. So there's a potential long for this one. Ideally, again, I do think that the Fed should say. I think the Fed should absolutely acknowledge the data today. To not acknowledge that, again, producers are paying more for things. Like I said, you can say that it's great, but at the same time, it's higher, but I don't think they're going to take the losses at this point. I don't think they're going to take the losses. Now, euro pound. Again, pound strength rolling back in. And we saw it. Boom, 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 boom. And then came up and grabbed some more. And then, again, slingshotted down, up, and pushed. So, where we are right now, we have old levels here, right? If I zoom this out, you can see there are old buyers here. So, we knew that this is a level in here. It is a 50% retracement as well. There is a little bit of a rundown, and I think the next decent level is really all the way down here at this 86 number. This is an old level that we've talked about in the past. We were just so far away from it, there was no reason to really put an alert on there. But we are running into these buyers right here. Okay, here we'll put this way so you can kind of see them right in there. It is backstopped by 50%, and that's worth slamming into. And we hit it and came back up. We hit it, we came back up. We hit it and we came back up. So they're fighting. It's kind of a battle in two directions at this point. It's going up and they're grabbing more sellers to continue to push this lower. Overall, I do like this one short more. Do I need this for anything? No, not really. Let's just delete that one off. I do like it short. How much do we need to move? Yeah, it's only 20 pips, right? We only need to move an additional 20 pips, so it's not even that much to the downside. Right now, I think the name of the game is, again, I don't think the pound can get much worse. And the euro, obviously, there's some comments about the euro and with the euro dollar kind of rallying the way that it is. There could be some more euro weakness coming into this trade. The euro news in particular, where was it? I saw it down here somewhere. Yeah, Germany headed for deeper recession, right? So again, there's your euro, kind of your euro weakness, right? Um, Yeah, the inflation shocks are now waning, but obviously a deeper recession for Germany, not good. So overall, again, I do like this one lower. If we get back down to this range, it's only got 20 pips to move. It's only got a 34 pip daily ATR, so we're not talking about tons here. 13 pip 4-hour ATR, so going to take some time. But if we can get down to that range, I do like this one short. From the 86, kind of grinding probably down into the 84, 80ish range, probably. Euro yen. All right, so euro yen. It is spiking even with all that data. Now, again, we've played with 85. Again, 1, 2, 3. Hit number 4 went through. We came back up. We know we have confirmed sellers at 158.21 or 22 here. We'll just make this 22. I don't know why I would have said it that way. Anyway, we've had a big surge up since about 5:30 this morning. Okay, so where we are right now, some of this is a proxy. Some of it has to do with the yen and positioning for that. Some of it's that euro data. It's like, hey, listen, we're seeing it wane, deeper recessions, and that yet the euro is going higher. So I do think the euro is set for more of a kind of a failure-based trade overall. Now, we know that the other side is more the pound moving than the euro. Right now, it's showing the euro here, but it's just versus the yen. So I think what we're looking for now is, again, some yen strength coming back in. If the euro starts weakening here, I think that's how we get the continuation inside of the euro pound to push to the downside. Okay. Um, I like them both short. Again, I want to see the top put in. We do know on a higher time frame, this is where we're looking for shorts coming in. Will it catapult all the way back down to 157.50? Nah, I think it'll probably come down and we'll start doing the same type of kind of touches and things like that over the 158. It's only 34 pips movement now, but we don't have the top in yet. Should be coming. Um, so eh. Yeah, I'd like to see that. Yeah. I like where it is. I want to see it push farther. Right. Go give me a little bit more of a top in here. And again, because of the yen, there may absolutely be a proxy play on this one. Proxy play with the yen would be obviously what's it called? The Fed making a comment, right? Fed making a comment about raising interest rates one additional time, the Dow collapsing, that would move the yen around. Okay, so the recipe is set, and again, very very strong moving from 630 forward. And you can see, what was it? The German bond? No. The 10-year auction? No. Was it Bowman speaking? No. No. It's just accumulation of data going, preparing for some type of a move. So it's there. Um. Oops. All right. All right. Pound dollar. So pound dollar also going higher. Now, this was a very, very slow one, and this is one of those ones that most likely you took yourself out of this trade. It came back up, and late last night it hit it, and it went down, and it pushed all the way down here to about a 1 to 1.5. So most likely you got stopped out at break even and then continued to push and then started the base before here. So again, you would have taken yourself out of this trade before the news today. You're not going to take that risk after it's already found buyers. And again, it found buyers where it should have. There are buyers sitting in here. Again, there's a big spike down, right? Impulse move correction. And then it didn't do it fast, but it did it enough. So from yesterday, late last night, it did push back down again, and this one went about 20 pips to the downside. Not the ideal, but again, we knew that 123 flat was going to be a big deal. Um, so take this one off, and again, I think this is also a little bit of short covering. This is a pound dollar with match with I'm sorry, a strong pound, which we had in the overnight. Again, that started down here. Matched with obviously the weak dollar play right now. But the question is it loading up for FOMC? I feel like right now, I feel like it is. It's hard to say that it's not because again, there's no amazing pound data. We've seen pound strength roll back in, but is this dollar weakness that justified? I mean, you're talking about 71 pips, almost a daily worth of ATR for increasing inflation. No, I mean, I think a lot of this is probably short squeezing, right? Why not? If you can squeeze those shorts out, you know, I mean, it is the data is what it is. If you can squeeze the shorts, sure, why not? Right? I don't know. I like it high. Question is, what do we got over here? Um, we're sitting right here right now. Little hiccup here. It's a little zone here, right? One of these drop sideways movement and then drop again, and it is sitting at 61, right? Yeah, it is sitting at the 61. About 25 pips. Put us at 80, basically 90. If we can push that high up, that's not actually a bad short, but we're going to need some more help, right? We got our impulse move. We're slowing down now. If we do not reverse at 1030, if we continue forward, it's only got to move about 25 pips. It's got a daily ATR of 39, so we can move up that far. Um, so it's kind of where it needs to be, right? Nice strong push for a turn of reversal. Um, hmm, it's not bad. 12, so it's not the worst. Question is, what are we going to do at this 1030 mark? That's the big question. It's only going back to there. It'd still be up for the day. No, it's not a horrible trade, guys. If we're able to kind of survive this next little bit, I don't think this is the worst of news trades. And again, if the Fed does what I feel like the Fed needs to do, now again, the Fed doesn't listen to me, but if the Fed says what I think they need to kind of get things actually fixed, not a bad little trade. And again, it's 12 for 37, right? Not a bad little distance there. Pound yen. Again, seeing that pound strength, we didn't collapse. We were bouncing back and forth, and we were looking forward to push back down again. It just kept basing around, and you can see it use it this morning. So, both sides are again, the bottom side is still holding. Let's bring this up higher. Again, I would expect the pound to reverse at this point. Again, that 5:30 window in the morning, it's up 129. It has a daily ATR of 144. So we're kind of getting up there. We're getting long in the tooth. We are playing with this zone right here. I don't the zone, unfortunately, kind of got it's it's been all the way up. Again, I like the sawtooth there, but we did push from the original zone over, and that's kind of what we're playing with right now. So the question is, are we done? Is the pound profit taking going to truly come in from this level and reverse back again? It's not the worst of places. Not quite a racetrack because there are wicks in here, but it is definitely not the worst of reversals. Let's see what this one looks like. Again, we do need some yen help on this one though. 3.03. Um, I hate I hate the fact that it's FOMC day and we're like, yeah, if we get a little help. Whoops, actually, it's there. 17 for 50. It's like, yeah, we need a little help from the yen. It's like, oh god, we're asking the yen for help. Ooh, right? It's like I don't know. I feel like we should shower afterwards. It's like dirty, right? Yeah, it's like, oh god, we need some yen help. It's like, oh god, but it's the yen. Yeah, we need yen strength. Are you insane? Right? Yeah, that's what we're looking at right now. It's like, oh god. Oh god, what is FOMC gonna do to us? Right? So yeah. Dollar CAD. Dollar CAD, you can see we didn't really go anywhere, right? We didn't really go anywhere. We're still kind of in the same drama, the consolidation, it kind of broke through, but it just broke through in a sideways manner. Where are we at? Minus 5 pips in 24 hours. So yeah, we're blazing right now with the dollar CAD. And I said this one's been a lot harder lately to trade, and yeah, it's still. We'll move these so you can see it. Yeah, we're basically 5 pips from where we were. So is there any trade in this one? Not really. I just think this one has too many proxies involved right now to really do much with it. So obviously buyers below. I'd like to see again if we can maintain low down here. There is two zones. Again, the 61.8 is the better one. We need a little bit of help, right? Need a little help. Not gonna lie, need a little help in this one. But if we have a strong dollar tone come in, I think we could, again, this could be a nice little pop, even with the oil down. I mean, look at that. We're at 84.50 right now, down $1.36 today. We're still seeing again, it's a battle of week versus week. So yeah, yeah, it is what it is. I wish there was more of a trade setup, but with 5 pips in 24 hours, it's going to be rough. Dollar Swiss. We talked about dollar Swiss coming down. You can see, yesterday morning it got out, and then we came down and hit it again, and we hit it again, and we hit it again, and we went through, and then we came back up and grabbed it, and it kind of Harry Potter. Remember, Harry Potters are not really based for news. So we're pushing down. So, we mentioned yesterday if we could get down here for this stuff. Oops, it's not on right there. Yeah. Hmm. It's there. Again, this one isn't a blazing one. It's got 14 pips. It's got a 29 pip 4 hour ATR. Um, Not a bad spot. Oh, God, it's so close. I almost feel like this is better for a 10:30 reversal, but it's like, oh, kind of want the dollar to tank all the way up until 2 o'clock. We're close though, guys. I mean, look, we're close. We talked about this level before, and this is what the Swiss does. Um, Question is, can we just screw around and do nothing? Um, hmm. Yeah, it's like, So yeah, this is not a bad, and this is really small. Just so we can keep this under in context here. It's only 11 pips, but I have a feeling we're going to get there before. Right, this is not a major driver. Right, um, the market doesn't turn because the dollar Swiss hits a level. Right, um, so I'm wondering if this comes in early. But again, nothing but dollar weakness coming back down. We talked about this level yesterday, the 89.93. We're close for 14 pips. The 4-hour rates are being 29. We really need this thing to flatline on us, right? We really need to kind of find a bottom, and hopefully we have enough push down that we can flatline right on there. But I think this is a decent trade right now. The problem is the fact that we're sitting down here and we're basically at 90 flat, um, within 10 pips of 90. So again, there's going to be some artificial buying there. Um, I like this one for long, where we are. So yeah, dollar yen. All right, so dollar yen. We talked about a channel. We're still kind of in the middle. What's the 24 hours? 5 pips again. Kind of looks like the dollar Swiss. Um, still kind of consolidating. No, give me the bottom one. There we go. Jesus. Um, we're just cruising right down the middle of that no man's land there. We still have the alert if we're able to break through 148.25. You can see today, it's almost like we had zero data that came out today, right? And we can see a little bit of a spike, but almost nothing. Um, there's a little pop here. I wonder if we're set up for this. So it is a 37 pip 4-hour ATR. It's going to take 35 pips to get up to that level. The sad thing is, if it pushes up, this is a short, which again is also that yen strength that we're talking about. It's another pair where it's like, come on, yen. Come on, yen. Yen strength, right? Um, yeah, not a bad spot. It's not the worst of tops. I like this. Look at this. The way that this went down, it's a red, green, red sawtooth. Came back up in base, closed there on Friday, gap down, have been unable to hit it. All those things are great. I love all those things. All those things are wonderful. Yeah, we'll see. 149.31 or 32 could be a nice little news trade there. All right. Crude. Let's go over crude. All right. So crude pushing through. All right. So we know this is an old level here. We're looking for this to kind of break, and we're kind of playing with it right now. So crude coming back down, I think, makes sense. Talking about meeting all the targets. Again, the Brazil thing, and I don't think they're going to have too much of an effect. Um, we got to actually break out of this side. Again, these are the old buyers here, or the old sellers. We got to see if, again, this is going to be kind of the cap right here. Um, if we're able to break through, ideally, we kind of push all the way back down to 83.08. Um, getting to 83.08 would be awesome today. That would be what, another dollar 50 down. So that'd be like a 3% down day. That's a lot, right? That's a lot. But overall, not necessarily the worst of trades. Let me see here. Uh, so the API, so API looks like they are forcing a. Oh no, that's last week's. Oh, you know what? It's tomorrow. Yeah, it's tomorrow. No, it's not. Like, wait, what's going on? Yeah, crude oil's tomorrow. Okay. All right. I was like, wait a second. That doesn't make sense. All right. So we got another day on that one. So, yeah, I think us pushing back to the downside kind of makes some sense here. If we can get some basing in here, you can potentially get a trade short on this one. We kind of need some help with it. You can see right here, it did come down and kind of form a base and then push down. And then obviously the news came up and grabbed it and used it. So, kind of looking for another one of those. But I think overall, 83.08 is where we're looking for an oil. That's where my target would be in the next 24 hours. Whether we hold that one, maybe, maybe not. But yeah, I would say that that would be a decent spot. Now, natural gas also collapsing back down again. We talked about buyers here. Again, this little sawtooth, that's what we're running into right now. This is quite a lot of movement in a very short period of time. So it is a little bit riskier right now. Again, do you want to pull the trigger and go long? Now we're in the upper third. We're definitely looking for more shorts. I still think, 319 is kind of where the target is. Can we go lower than that? Questionable, questionable. I think 320, 319. I think we play with this level. And then, even so, we are backstopped by a 50% retracement level in this little rally base rally with a base right on top of it. So it is a level on top of a level. I think right now, if you're short, been a great trade this morning. Um, Look for it to kind of hover around 320. I'd love for this to be down bigger tomorrow, but I think we probably find some stabilization there. It's a little bit too much of a move too quickly. Um, yeah, yeah. Um, Yeah. Oof. Hmm. Yeah, I think that one comes down in probably basis in here. So just use a little bit of caution with it. That would be my target. We gotta chop through this, and hopefully we don't reverse back up again. But again, one, two, three, based on the top when it goes through, which is hit number four. Boom, it went right through. So again, great learning example. Again, you're basing your one, your two, your three, and then obviously as soon as it braces in front of a zone, you expect it to break, and it did. So nice push, nice finding buyers. 319 is where we're looking for. Gold. So gold, interestingly enough, the Europeans sent this thing up, and then since the news came out, it's done nothing. People are like, "Wait, what are we doing? What happened at PPI?" Right? Um, Question is this a top for gold? Are we going to see a spike come in right there with FOMC meeting notes? If anything, if we push right back down into like the 1850ish range in here, kind of where the European market opened, the Europeans sent it straight up, and the question is, are they prepping it for a big short? Um, Oops. It's funny, my phone. Whenever I type, there's two things that I wish I could like reset the like how your phone like learns how you type or whatever, and then it like replaces words like the auto spell. In always goes to I'm, which I have no idea why because it drives me nuts. It goes in all the wrong things, and then when I type Are, it puts eight, and I'm like, can I just reset these? Can you like not do that on purpose? Um, um, So gold anyway. Gold looks to me like it's finding a top in here. We don't have a confirmation yet. We have a red, we have a green, we have the red that closed above. We have a red, kind of a spiky one here, but there is kind of that confirmation starting to build. Technically, there's the pattern that gives us a confirmation. It's not closed yet. It's got 9 more minutes. If it pulls up, it kind of ruins it. But overall, it's kind of looking like, whoops, sorry. This could be kind of the top, right? Could be the top, and we'll see. It's got to go just a little bit farther before that news. And again, I feel like that the Fed has to say something. But if they say, "Hey, listen, it's working. The fight for inflation is really, really on. We're not done yet. We got one more, and don't forget, we're holding here for a long time until inflation is dead, right? Dead, 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 dead." That should provide somewhat of a down movement. Unless the Fed comes out and says, "You know what? We're done. We don't have to do anything else. Everything is perfect, guys. we've done our job. We're going to cut interest rates sooner next year, which sends this thing through the roof. But I don't think that's what they're going to say. Um, I like to see where we move from now till 2, and then again look to get this one short. Silver, yeah. Do you think 22 matters? We finally punched through, and again, 1, 2 started the base, went through the top. Um, and what did we see once we got to that 2208? Chop, 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 chop. Yeah, we're hovering here. And again, is the top in? We don't have a red, green, red. Again, the doji I typically don't try not to use those. Red, green came above, invalidated. Red, green came above, invalidated. The red, green, red right there, kind of sketchy because this is already pushed through the bottom side. Again, what does it look like though? If you shrink it, it's having a lot of problems up here. We're running into sellers, right? 2215. It also looks like it is the ability to, or, has a spot to where it could be, it could be crashing. And I think that's the right call. I mean, my again, my belief, guys, is it should be. Um, I like where it is right now. Particularly for a short. I love that the Europeans drove it higher. To me, it's yeah. I mean, overall, I think this is a good spot, right? I like this one. So, um, yeah. Again, do I have a definable zone on this one? No. Gold, yes. Silver, no. Silver, you can see back and forth, much choppier. And again, it's playing with 22. So we got here good old Apple. Apple, big look, open and close. So nothing. We're a little bit lower. And again, looking at Apple, it spiked, but it's having some problems now. And it looks like, again, if those buyers collapse, it looks like we're going to push back down to 176 ish. So again, Apple looking like it could be not having the best day today. And even Tesla over here. Again, big spike up and it kind of pulled back again and then kind of started. It went high and then now it's pulled back, right? The high of the day was 168.60. We're 163.50 now. So whenever you see a big spike like this, you're kind of thinking, uh-oh, right? If this starts to come in and starts to fail, it goes back down to 150 or 257. So also looking like it is a potential for a little bit more negativity, right? VIX kind of holding. I think the VIX is like, oh God, what do we do now? And the dollar, again, dollar down, but you're starting to see it come back at 10:30. We're kind of hoping we have a straight push in at 2 o'clock, not a reversal. But that's what we're seeing. So let's see what we got here on the lower time frames as far as opening print. Um, Really, you can see there's not much that happened. 915 is sitting right here. We talked about, again, being up at one of those two levels. We had the 77. Again, this hit at noon yesterday. 12:30 is when we hit the 44.77. And we bounced right off of it and then went go. And it just flatlined, right? This one kind of went, it's funny. I'm going to remove it, but look at how it based in there. You talk about areas that are important, right? It turned it, based, and then it used the same exact one. So overall, right now, ES looks to me like it wants to be more of a short. Was there an opening print? Nah, we're kind of squished right in the middle of a zone with buyers and sellers in close proximity. So not really an opening print, but where we're looking right now, look at this. Flat, 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 flat. And we're in the same area again. So, question is, do we come all the way back down if we get below 43.62? Again, I think it's a short. I think they put the kiss of death on the markets and like, this is the 4th day in a row we're green. It's unbelievable. Just in time for, FOMC to kind of mess that streak up. So, look for this one. Again, no opening print, but we did kind of push back up into there, which tends to lead us to more of a push to the downside. And we were looking for the 44.17, but that's what we hit at noon yesterday. So it's there. And Q, kind of the same thing, but look at the chop back and forth in this one. 8:30 went straight down. 9:15 went straight up. And again, we're just kind of inside. We're exactly where it was. So again, a lot of traps up and down for NQ. Would you have traded an opening print here at 9:15? Nope. You were sitting right here. There wasn't, again, way too many hits on that zone. 8:30, I guess you could have got into something at 8:30, right? You could have tried to play the news right here and said, again, confirmed in the overnight, it did come down and touch it at 8:30 and went all the way up to here. So you could have had a little news trade out of this one, right? There's 1 to 3.06. And you can see it went well past. So you could have done a little news trade, but as far as opening print goes, where you're at, wasn't pulling back, wasn't doing anything. Just completely stagnated. What do we got here? 9:15 is red, green. You could have tried to play opening print on this one, right? So the 8:30 drove it into that level. I would say it's probably more of a news type thing. Again, we drove it up into the news. And then the 9:30 is this green candle here. So it did push back up in there. I would say probably more news print than opening print kind of thing. But again, it went off where it should have. The same level yesterday from 12:30. It's not a bad YM trade. It's more of like an 8:45, 9 o'clock trade than it was at opening, but opening did go back up and grab it. So I'd say it's probably more like this. Right? It's probably more what it looks like. And again, may not run that far. It's a little bit deep as far as profit goes. Okay. And then Russell, 18. Look. 18, boom. Nothing in news. Pop, pulled back, open. Bing, right at 18. And then, oh, wait, 1800. Okay. Whoosh, straight down and accelerating. we're in a racetrack right now. Again, no pullback, unfortunately, to come back to a level. It's just been straight down, but it's going. And, we don't really have anything opposing on the other side until probably down here. 1773. That's a big drop. It's a big drop. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, opening print, not really. I mean, again, if you use the 1800, sure, great. But we knew 1800 yesterday, right? This thing was rock solid and then just flatlined on us. So, it is what it is. Dollar, we doing? Yeah, dollar's trying to creep back again. So let's remove this. We can get a clean look at this real quick. I was like, why are there so many candles? It's because it's on the wrong one. Hmm. Let's see what we have here as far as potential pops. Right at 106. Yep. Yep. Base with a confirmation. We tagged it, and it's right at 106. Unfortunately, I can't draw much on the bottom here. Kind of weird. So yeah, overall with all this weakness, again, we'll see what we fight down here. FOMC is going to be great. I think it's really going to be telling of what we're going to see. Again, I think they may have put the kiss of death on it with that where it's green for the fourth day in a row, and then again that PPI number comes out, and again a lot of people will be talking about CPI tomorrow, but I mean really the Fed's seeing the data behind the scenes at this point. So yeah, we'll see. Just be cautious. Look to see 12-2 will tell us a lot what's going to happen or what the market's overall looking to think. And again, labor is still very strong. We know that. And then PPI, what is costing the producer, is also higher than expected. Those are two big inflationary factors. So, yeah, we'll see. Again, I think the Fed could drop some big bombs today. Maybe it's a dead day, but I feel like they're going to have to acknowledge whether, again, they're going to raise it one more time before the end of the year, or this is it. Like, give us the confirmation, give us the real skinny, right? So, yeah. All right, let's go ahead and do our drawing. Got 4 people in. We will take this one to 3:30. Always like to give that 30 seconds because I know there is a delay in there. And again, it runs the whole time, but the timer doesn't tick if I'm not on the window. So it's always weird how it does that. Let's go. 15 seconds more to go. I need music. I need some like theme music for this one. Right? It's the slowest 30 seconds ever. What's it called? Not the anxious. I can't. I'm at a loss of words. It is what it is today. So all right, here we go. Let's see who's got it. Looks like Ernest won yesterday. He's not here today, so he ain't winning today. So let's see who takes it. Winner of today's drawing is Debbie. Debbie, you haven't won for a while, so that's actually pretty good, right? You haven't won for a while. Good seeing you. I know it's rigged, Nero. Look at that. It was good. What, 50% chance, Nero? You had a 50% chance. It was 3 versus 3, and Debbie takes it. Debbie, actually, in all fairness, Debbie hasn't won for a while. Marina was on a streak where she was like bam, 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 bam. She was hitting a bunch. And again, Will was on that streak where he stopped showing up because he just winning too much, right? All he does is win, 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 right? Will was on a crazy streak, but that's what Will does. Will doesn't win anything for a year, and the next thing you know, wins like 6 or 7 in 1 month. It's crazy, craziness. So, all right, so you guys are ready to go for the next 24 hours. As I said today, this data, both of them higher than expected. They got to acknowledge it, right? FOMC meeting, 2 o'clock today. Watch it. Make sure you're in. Or your stop losses are in. Make sure you're protected. With that, I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. You guys have a great one, and I'll see you then. Take care.